The link I sent you, I have to send you a new one.
You have to send me a new one?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you done? Okay.
Yeah. You should have it.
In my email?
The second one. Or the one that's probably at the top right now.
Alexa, turn off the music. I was trying to remember everybody for the board plan. I was coming in there to give them information. Yes, since you guys are in the same household.
Ready?
today.
We're all.
We're close.
You ready? All right. Good night, everybody. Everybody at
Are we
home.
on? Can you ask them if they can hear us?
Oh, yeah, can you guys hear us? Can you guys just send a text?
To me?
I don't think I muted it, so send a text to Leslie. What? All right. Well, so excited to actually see some people, live. But I want to begin by, first of all, if you have a cell phone, make sure to take it out, put it on silent, because believe me, you're not going to be distracted tonight. Also, I want to begin by congratulating every single one of you for earning a spot in this room, because being here tonight is always earned, never given. As tonight, I have the absolute honor and privilege of introducing an incredible couple, Michael and Lorena Wood, who will be sharing with us some amazing concepts around success. And in particular, the key roles that mentorship, a big dream, and a great work ethic play into it. A little backstory on Michael and Lorena. Like many young couples, they were told that the only way to get ahead in life is to go to school, get an education, so you can work hard the rest of your life, and maybe get like 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, right? And they did that, because they like to try things. And then they quickly realized that path was not going to work for them. The path they were on was not going to provide them the result they always envisioned for themselves. So at that time, they were introduced, that was 5 years ago, they were introduced to the concepts I'll share with us tonight. And now, fast forward 5 years, rather than staring in the face to a life of debt, a life of being away from each other, a life of existence, and a life of no significance in a way, Michael and Lorena now have a life of freedom, a life of no debt, a life in which they can be full-time husbands and full-time parents.
Not yet.
Not yet, but when the time comes. And more importantly, a life in which making an impact is truly, truly possible. So I say this with the most humble way. Being here tonight has the potential to radically change your life, but only if you let it. So please do me a huge favor. Give them your undivided attention and help me welcome this incredible couple, Michael and Lorena Wood.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Jesus. Appreciate you, bud. I paid him for that one. Oh, you.
25 cents.
25 cents.
Cheap. No, I'm kidding.
Very cheap. Very. I'm just kidding. No, I'm excited tonight. Welcome. If you're new in this room or seasoned or not, all that matters is you're here to learn and grow, right? You obviously earned this spot in this room, and it should not be taken lightly, like as you said. 5 years ago, my wife and I got in a room like this, and we saw potential. We saw potential for our future. We saw potential for ourselves, for all those around us, and so we took advantage of it, and thank God we did. And so tonight, I'm gonna dive into our story, where we came from, where we're at now today, and then really dive into a bunch of mindset and attitude and a bunch of business principles and concepts, so then we can start building a mindset, right? Because success is about 98% mindset and attitude. It's really only about 2% details. And so at the end of the day, we want to build a mind frame to understand the context. Because if you don't have mindset and attitude, then the 2% means absolutely nothing. That's like joining the gym and having the 2% of the details of what it takes to succeed there, but not having the mindset that it takes to stay consistent and put in the hard work and go through the pain of growth, which means nothing. Then at the end of the day, you just wasted some time and wasted some money. Right? You have a gym membership doesn't mean you're a fit person. And so at the end of the day, it's growing that mindset to apply the 2%. And so I mean, even getting a room like this, it's being educated to have a foundation information. So then there's some context. So then when we go into content, actually, you can relate to it. Right? When we first sat down with our mentors, they were talking about how building wealth is a whole different way of learning, and it's a whole different language. And so if you don't understand the fundamentals of that language, you don't understand the alphabet or how the alphabet even works, then speaking that language is just going to be gibberish. And so at the end of the day, we want to build that foundation so when we get to actually speaking the language, you can understand the words that come out of my mouth. Do you understand the words that come out? Do you understand the words that come out of my mouth? Do you understand? I'm just kidding. What is that, rush hour?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we got to be able to communicate well. And I'm excited to educate you. Why? Because I love educating. I love helping people see things differently so they can better their lives, so they can grow and change and develop, because that's what our mentors did for us. And thank God they did. But on top of that, thank God we actually saw the opportunity to take advantage of it. Because there's no way that would be financially free today without their guidance now, right? Because there's a million opportunities out there, right? You can, I know half the people we have online on the web, the verse, right, on YouTube, because obviously we, standing Colorado guidelines of under 10 people, yeah. Oh, boom, under 10, what's up? Colorado guidelines, staying under 10 people in a room, and so everyone else is online. But at the end of the day, what's crazy is that people see all these different opportunities out there, right? We live in America. There's opportunity literally on every corner, right? You're online, you're on YouTube, right? After this, if you're on the tube, the Yube, afterwards you're gonna probably go to some fail videos or some cat videos. And while you're doing that, you're gonna see opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Some guy's gonna be like, yeah, I got this check in the mail for like $13,000. You should cook it, right? Oh, there's a million opportunities. But the problem is, they never truly invest into that relationship to help you apply it correctly and effectively. Now, could it be a legit opportunity? Potentially. Doubt it, but it could be. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're not having the relationship and someone who's willing to invest in you long term to help guide you to learn how to succeed long term. Which is why when my wife and I met our mentors, we knew it was that relationship that we were pursuing. Obviously, they had opportunities that they had applied the mindset and attitude towards to create the results they had. And so they were going to teach us in those same ways. And for my wife and I, we didn't give a crap what they did. Why? Because they had the life we wanted. And I think it's so funny how we're willing to do the craziest jobs and do whatever it takes and so uncomfortable, and we'll grit it out. Our bosses will be yelling at us, demeaning us. We show up, they treat us bad. We do it. Why? Because we have to. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do this. Which is why we want to make sure someone has the right mindset, that they truly want more, that they desire to actually create something for themselves, so they don't have to be subject to money anymore. Or they can create something for themselves so they can actually have some more stability in their life, or just an extra couple $100 or $1,000 or $10,000. I don't care. They want something. And if you truly do and you desire that, then you're willing to put in the work. But if you're not, and you're just probably in this room or on the live stream going, man, will this guy get to the point? And you missed it. The point is the relationship and the person that brought you in this room. The point is the doors that they can connect you with. And the point isn't even my wife and I tonight. The point is who we can connect you with. Because there's one thing to hit success. There's another thing to sustain success for a lifetime. Mm. And to build a legacy and to pass that on to your children. That's way bigger. And that's who we can connect you with. So.
That was so good.
What?
Okay. I wish you were rewind and hear that again.
You can. You're recording it. I'm going to talk about 3 things. Number 1 is mentorship. Having mentorship, having guidance, right? The thing that you're looking to potentially earn is that. Any rinky-dink little business that you want. But understanding that, keep ownership, which is the second thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about ownership. Ownership. I got to spell it out or I won't spell it right. Ownership. Having ownership of your life. But here's the thing. Being an entrepreneur is not synonymous with having ownership of a business. You can go online, hit that little link, and pay $1,000 or $500 or $200 or $500 million bucks. I don't really care for this business opportunity, whatever it may be. It doesn't mean you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurialism is a mindset. Mm. We're not taught that in school, right? And at the end of the day, we're taught how to just be an employee. And so, having ownership is the first step, but being taught how to actually become an entrepreneur, that's a whole different world. It's a whole different understanding. And so, I'm gonna talk about mentors. Right, my mentors, right, Jake and Jolene Carruthers, and Howie and Teresa Danzig. Those 2 couples have changed our lives instrumentally. I mean, there's no way that we'd be, like I said before, be at where we're at today without those relationships, right? Jake and his wife have been around this industry for the last over 10 years. They're financially free for over 3 of those years, kicking butt. Full-time parents to their beautiful daughter, full-time husband and wife. They are striving, kicking butt, but they work their tail off, right? They're not retired in the traditional sense of like they're going to go fly down to Florida, live there, play bingo, golf, and watch Price is Right.
B-I-N-G-O?
No, none of that. Right? They're the most productive people we know, but they're productive for their own future. See, one thing I see a lot, especially when you're in this quadrant, right? We're going to talk about the cash flow quadrant, right? How you make money as an employee, right? Small business, big business, and investing. And when you're an employee, you're just looking not to work.
Yep.
You're just like, oh man, I hate working. Why? Because you don't even like what you do. And so you're like, man, I just want freedom. Right? Everyone wants TGIF. I want freedom. Thank God it's Friday. it's Friday. Then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's Friday, right? Everyone's pumped up for Friday. Why? Because they get freedom. Even if you love what you do, you're still pumped up for Friday.
Yeah.
Why? Because you get life. Everyone wants that. And so I feel like sometimes when people are like, oh, you're financially independent, financially retired, all this stuff, that means I never have to work again in my life. No. If you are able and capable, you should be working the rest of your life until you're not able or capable. Why? Because you should be a productive part of society. That's just being a human being and being someone who is adding value to the world. If you're just looking to be lazy, not ever work again in your life, you'll never be successful. Why? Well, because it takes hard work to get there. And if you're just trying to find that, you're not willing to work hard to get there.
Yeah.
It will never happen. Right? In our household, my wife and I, we no longer go to a job, but we still work. In our household, we work. We work it. Why? Because we have a future to build. We have more people to help. We have bigger things to do in this world than just sitting on our butt watching TV or YouTube. So at the end of the day, work is not bad. See, the problem is we're working for a means, which the end means survival. And we were busy, right? I'm going to go back to our story a little bit. I was 25 when our mentors. I was working 7 days a week. I didn't have a weekend. I was working multiple gigs. I was working 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, depending on the day. And I was just grinding. Why? Because what we're taught in this quadrant, but I taught all of our broke friends, broke family, broke teachers, is go work harder. So that's what I did. I put a job on top of another job on top of my part-time job.
Yeah.
I had another job. And this other gig and that other gig, and I was just trying to get by. And unfortunately, I was trading all that time for a little bit of money. My mentor told me this, Michael, you realize everything you do right now is keeping you broke? You realize your busyness is keeping you broke? And I'm like, oh my gosh. He's like, you're doing all this stuff, and it's not getting you anywhere. I love when people go, well, no, I'm making a good income. Yeah, I mean, that might be true, but it's gone. And then you have to go work another 2 weeks to get it back. Literally trade the majority of your waking hours just to survive. Or maybe you're better than survival. Maybe you're doing a little better than survival, which is great. But then you're one pandemic away from that health just falling out.
Yeah.
40 million people get unemployed. I love when people are like, man, is it talk all about money? And it's like, majority, yeah. Yeah. Well, I love when people are like, well, money's not important. It's like, well, you should tell the 40 million people who lost their jobs that money's not important.
Yeah.
And then once their unemployment runs out, you should really tell them, hey, why are you worried? Money's not important. It's like, well, no, it is. You gotta have a roof over your head. You gotta put food in the bellies. You gotta be able to survive and live. So money is very important. See, the difference between employees of small business and people who understand wealth, they understand that money is very important, but it's not important than things that are more important, like relationships and family and love and respect and all those different things, that those better qualities in life, the better things in life. But to have those things, you need to have the tool to actually provide for those things, which is money.
Yeah.
And the reason why people say that money's not important is because they trade their entire life for it, and yet they have none of it, so they justify and say, well, it's not important.
Yeah.
Well, it's really just not that important, I guess. Or money doesn't make you happy. Ever heard that one?
Yeah.
I love that. Well, money doesn't make you happy. Really? So if I gave you $1,000 right now, you'd be pissed at me?
No.
If I Venmo'd you guys online $1,000, you'd be like, I hate you and all your money. No, you're gonna go, I can pay a bill. I can go out for sushi. I can do what I want. What? You'd be excited. I just made you happy. Oh my gosh, I just debunked your whole theory. At the end of the day, happiness is happenstance. If someone walked into your house online, right, punch you in the face, you would not be happy. If someone came in your house, gave you a high five, you'd be freaked out. You'd be like, what do you do in my house? But if someone came to your house, knocked on your door, gave you a check for $10,000, you'd be pumped up. You would be happy. See, the thing is that people don't realize what they're trying to say is that money doesn't create fulfillment, which it doesn't. Why? Because there's always more to give. Money just keeps rolling back in. And so at the end of the day, you have to be willing to work hard for the money, but you need to be able to actually understand. What's up? Yeah, have a seat over there. Sorry, distraction squirrel. But at the end of the day, you got to understand. Where was I at? I'm in Fort Colorado, right? Or Westminster. Money fulfillment. That's where I was at. People say that money doesn't make you happy, but it's true. But fulfillment does not come from money. And so that's why they say happiness doesn't come from money. They're like, well, money doesn't make you happy. And it's like, yeah, what you're saying, what you're trying to say is that money doesn't fulfill you. It's true. Because at the end of the day, the more money you make doesn't make you more fulfilled. No, what it does is relationships. What it does is adding value to people. What it does is helping people. That's why it's so cool with our mentors and how successful they've been for the last almost 30 years. They still go out there and help people, not because they want more money, but because of the fact that they can help the next person. I love asking this question because some people go, Michael, if you're successful and you're financially independent, why are you trying to help someone else? And I go, that's a weird question to ask.
Yeah.
If you had the cure for cancer, would you share it?
Yeah.
Or would you go, well, I got it, so I'm good? No, you would share it. You go, I have the cure here. Well, my wife and I, because of the mentorship that we have in our life and the guidance in our life, we have the cure. We have the cure for brokenness. We have the cure for people being in poverty. We have the cure for people having hopelessness and literally having no hope in life. We have the cure to help them and go, hey, I believe in you. I can help you get there if you want to help yourself. What's cool about this cure is it's not just a pill and then you're good to go. No, it's here you go. Now apply these principles. Go work hard to go create it, which is so awesome. Because if it's just given to you, you will not appreciate it.
Yeah.
But if you work hard for it, you will appreciate it. Why my wife and I appreciate freedom so much is because we work for it. But we were given the knowledge by the mentorship by Jake and his mentor Howie and our mentor as well. And to go back on this piece, Howie in these industries for almost 30 years, financially independent the last 27 years. Through all the economic times of the 90s, the crazy time of growth in the 90s, and then Y2K, right, where everyone thought that the computer and the microwave would explode and steal all their money from the bank account. People were running to the hills. I remember our parents freaking out. Dad was like, oh my gosh, the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
And what's so cool is during that whole time, Howie and his wife were thriving. And then the early 2000s, .com was boosting. It was like, what's up? And then pop, the .com bust. Guess what? They kept moving. And then 9/11 happened. People freaking out. We're going to war. Guess what? They kept moving up. They kept thriving and not just surviving, but thriving and growing over and over and over again in good or bad economies. And then 2008 happened, and they're still going up. And then the coronavirus, right? The shutdown. And guess what? They're still moving up. And when we saw this happening, like we saw their success and went, okay, they're doing something different.
Yeah.
If you want the same results of the masses, well, then do what they do. But if you want different results, you need to follow people who have different results. And we were like, I don't even care what you do, man. I'm going to do what you do. Why? Because you have different results. And what's so cool, our mentors will always say this, man, go dig your well before you're thirsty. Because there's always going to be a drought someday. People are just waiting for the drought and they go, oh my gosh, I should start digging. Dude, you're going to dehydrate. I mean, right now is the best time to realize that you should probably do something outside your job.
Yeah.
I was actually at the gym the other day talking to this young guy, and he's like, I was a server, I was doing really well, man. I was working at this really awesome restaurant downtown, getting big tips, making big money. It was awesome. And then, boom, shut down. I couldn't do anything about it. He's like, oh my gosh, I thought my job was secure. I thought I was good. The restaurant was doing good. Everything was good. And then it wasn't. And he's like, man, I just realized I had to do something else or it's going to happen again to me. And I feel like people who are waking up to that, man, they're looking. And then the other people aren't. That's fine. Then it's going to happen to them again and again because they don't learn from it.
Yeah.
And our mentors kept saying, create your own economy. Don't be subject to the economy. And that young gentleman was unfortunately subject to the economy because he hadn't already created his own economy. And my wife and I, when our mentor said that, we went, that sounds great. And so we created our own economy. And then the coronavirus, right, the whole shutdown happened. And then we're like, we're good. Oh, we're not just good, we're sustaining, growing, we're thriving. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we're here. I can't believe this. Like, they said it, go build your own economy. Don't be subject to the economy. And we did it.
Yep.
I was like, I'm here. And we're good. And I'm like, thank God we listened to them. Thank God we actually listened to people who have the results that we wanted, right? Because key to money is ownership. And so that's the first step. And we're talking about ownership of you. Ownership of you, having the rights, well, first of all, having ownership because most people don't have anything, right? That young man who I was talking to the other day didn't have any ownership. And so things got shut down. He had nothing to actually stand on. He's just a number in the company. That company's probably still thriving, but the owner had to fire all the employees.
Right.
He's not going to fire himself. Would you? Of course
No.
not. At the end of the day, key to money is ownership. But most of us don't have any of that. And so we'll talk about creating ownership for yourself and take responsibility for yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. The third thing that we're going to talk about is partnerships. Partnerships. Being connected with the right partners. Because you're never going to become successful on your own. People are like, oh, you're a self-made millionaire. No, you ain't. You did everything yourself. Right. Yeah, Steve Jobs did everything himself. Yeah, he created every single iPhone. He went and mined all the raw material, all the precious metals. He did all that stuff himself, right?
No.
No, he didn't do any of that. He partnered with companies that mined the precious minerals, and then he partnered with other companies and partnered with employees to go and create the iPhone. He did the part of creating it, yes, and he had ownership around it, but he didn't do all the work. You never do it on your own. You have to connect with the right people, and that's when people say that too. They're like, Michael, you just like trying to make money off me? I'm like, yes. And you're welcome. Like, that's how business works.
Yeah.
Like, you really think Steve Jobs partnered with those employees and he's not making any money off that? Do you think he's making money off the mineral companies that are mining the minerals for his company? Of course he is.
Yeah.
Did you ask that same question to your boss when you got your job? You're sitting there in the interview, you give him your resume, and you're like, here, buy me.
You're buying me?
For 15 bucks an hour, whatever it is. You're literally selling yourself for that position. And then in that moment, so I'm going to ask you a question. Mr. Boss Man, are you just trying to make money off me? Huh. He would go, well, yeah, I mean, if I don't, then why would I have you here at this company? Oh. Actually, if you're not producing, then why would the boss keep you? That's why the boss had to fire that server. Why? Because he couldn't produce anymore. Because no one could show up that he could serve. It's not a bad thing. It's not like, you suck, I gotta fire you. No, it's just like, hey, sorry, this is business. Sorry. So at the end of the day, when I was meeting Jake and meeting Howie, and they were going, hey, are you truly serious about creating the results you want? Because if so, it makes sense for us to invest in you. Because if you succeed, I succeed. But if you don't, we don't. So we want to make sure that you're for real, long term. Not like, I want to be successful tomorrow, because I love when people come in these rooms too and they're like, man, is this one of those get-rich-quick schemes? No.
Yeah.
Those same people say that and they go, awesome, it takes 5+ years. 5 years. I mean, it could have happened sooner, maybe. But I say 5 years and they go, oh my gosh, that's time. I'm like, man, you fail to realize your current plan to financial brokenness. Like, how long do you have to be retired at your traditional job? What? 20, 30, 40 years. Average retirement age for males in America is 72. And you think 5 years is long? You have 40 more to go. One of them a little bit bigger and one smaller. I'm like, I ain't that dumb, but I know a little bit of simple math.
Yeah.
I love it. When my wife and I got in these rooms, right, she was 19, I was 25. And, right, I mean, we didn't know any better. But when we saw people go, hey, 5 years, we went, well, I'm 25. I have like 50 more years, almost 72 average. I'm like, that's 10 times faster. And all of our friends thought we were crazy because on top of working a full-time job, we were building a life. Because over here, you work a 9 to 5, but from 5 to midnight in the information age we live today, you can actually leverage that time to go build something for yourself and go mind your own business. So you can go create something for yourself and actually have ownership and then build something that will sustain. That's beautiful. Back in the day, you couldn't do that. You had to go get every stupid loan or get investors and then quit your job and then take every risk that you had to in order to potentially succeed and still have 90% chance of failing. And today's age, we don't even have to do that, which is so powerful. We make it literally the easiest way to become successful in the world. Now, will it be hard and challenging? Yeah, 100%. But it literally 90% of the work's done for you. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But you still got to work your tail off. Because there is no way to get anything good in this life without putting in hard work. I mean, the world's never crazy enough to give someone who's undeserving what they want. Just because you want it doesn't mean you get it. You got to work hard for it. The world's not that crazy. But in this age today, it's the best time for anyone to try and go create wealth. We have technology. You kidding me? This thing right here. Anyone heard of guys, Robert Kiyosaki? He wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad? Yeah. Oh, hey, call him. My bad. was calling you. My bad. But this right here, some people are utilizing it just for entertainment. They're using it to dumb themselves down instead of go create more. He's like, man, this right here, he's like, I wish I had this when I was in my 20s. He's like, you guys had it so well. You spoiled little brats. Now do something with it. Now here's the problem is that most of us don't know the 98% mindset attitude to apply it to those things, which is why we needed mentorship, why we needed the right people in the right environments conducive for us to grow and so we can actually succeed on. So the partners we're going to talk about tonight is Amway Global, that's one of them, and Worldwide Dream Builders. These two companies, Amway Global and Worldwide Dream Builders, are the partners that we utilize to create. It's phenomenal. You have to create something, and we'll talk about these in a minute. This has been around for over 60 years. It's been around for over 40 years, and we leverage those with technology. They do 90% of the work. I'd say probably like 80, and then we just do 20. And it's just like Steve Jobs, who partners with like most companies like this. Here's Steve Jobs. He has a CEO, he has the CFO, the top C-level people, and then he has over here, he has the top management, and then below them they have like the supervisors, and then below them is like 1 million employees.
Yeah.
Employees, right? He's leveraging all this pyramid, right, to go create a product, to add value to a consumer base, which is massive. That's how he's created. I love when people like, they just don't understand business. Like, you're making money off people. Like, go, what do you think Steve Jobs did to you?
Right.
He made money off you. But if you understand how money works in this economy, you have to add value to people to make money. You do it at your job. You add a certain amount of value to so many people at your job, either directly or indirectly, and that's why you get paid how much you get paid, based off of the value you're giving and how many people you can actually help. So this person down here, the employee, can only add so much value to so many people at that position, but Steve Jobs is adding value to a huge consumer base, leveraging all these people to do so. And you should be grateful if you work there. Why? Because you have a job.
Yeah.
You're leveraging him to make an income. And he's leveraging you to add value on a greater scale because he can't do it all himself. And then Steve Jobs is connected to distributor companies, manufacturing companies, all these different companies that are bringing them products to actually go put them together and assemble it so they can actually ship to the consumers. And then those companies are connected to the raw material companies, the oil and gas companies, the farming companies that are mining and stuff like that. And then they're making money off of them, and they're making money off of them. And Steve Jobs is making money off of both of these companies and all these people to add money to consumers, because that's how business works. He's not doing it himself. He has to be connected with the right partners. And what's so cool, when I met my mentors, they're like, you don't have to go find all the partners yourself. Imagine that. Anyone ever thought of creating their own product themselves? Like, I'm going to create a product.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're like, now what? First of all, is it marketable? Like, is it actually going to add value to the marketplace? You have no idea, because you can't do the market research. Why? Because you don't have the millions of dollars in resources to do so. And then let's say you actually create the product. Now what? Now you need to go get some manufacturing or partner with a manufacturing company that's going to manufacture it for you. Either way, you're still going to have to leverage someone else. Either create your own system and have your own employees, or leverage a company that already has employees that's going to do it for you. And then that company partners with some other companies, and you're going to have to find all the people who can literally get all the products you need to create that product. Like, let's say I want to create glass jars for water.
So you put lemon water.
And this is created by Ball. Let's say you want a cooler mason jar that tastes like magic. I don't know. So what you need is how to make glass? Sand?
Mm-hmm.
So are you just producing sand in your backyard?
No.
So you're going to find a company that produces sand. And then you need the little magic fairy dust. So you find the magic fairy dust company and you partner with them. And then you have to find those connections. How are you going to find those, first of all?
Networks.
Yeah, network. Yeah. And then once you do that, then you have to barter with them and go, okay, I want to get it this cost. And then you have to get all together and get it here and then create the system that can actually effectively create it to actually make a profit. And then you have to go find a way to go market it to the consumers to have them buy it. And who's to say they're even gonna buy it? Oh my gosh. What's so cool when you have companies like this, they have this already.
Yep.
They already have this. And they have, more importantly, the system, all the logistics, everything that has to run the whole entire show on a large scale. And then all you do is add value to the network by creating networks, just like any business does, except for all that other stuff is done for you. That's freaking legit.
Yeah.
Once again, like Robert Kiyosaki says, you have it all right here. You have the connections. But the problem is too, is that people, even if you connect with those, it's like, do you know what you're doing? Because you can go online right now, go to Amway.com, click start a business. Yay, you have access. But do you know what you're doing? Have you created networks before?
No.
Have you leveraged other partners to actually go create networks to add value to the marketplace ever before? No, so do you know what you're doing? No. You don't have the 2% details of what it takes, and more importantly, you don't have the mindset and attitude that it takes to actually apply that 2%, which is why, once again, you need this.
Woohoo.
I mean, could you potentially be successful by part of it? Yeah, people did it before. But if you want to fail forward and learn a lot faster from people who have already done it, well, that's smarter,
Yes.
more effective. When I realized mentorship, what it does is it helps you fail 10,000 times less than you would naturally. You're still going to fail because that's the only way to learn, right? The road to success is paved in failure. But the cool thing about this is half the road is already paved. You just got to paint the lines. It's tedious. And that road's long. So are you willing to go down the road? And stay persistent at going down the road? That's really what it is. Because the road's almost already built. That's so powerful. I mean, there's no way that my wife and I are right within 5 years could have actually created that on our own without any of that guidance. I was actually talking to this gentleman he has about 5 different companies right now. He's built multiple, bunch of startups and stuff. And we're talking about things, and he's like, so who are you connected with? Because he first asked this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so how are they able to leverage that? And I started talking about this, and he's like, dude, keep doing it. That's amazing. Like, stay in their back pocket. Actually, every single multimillionaire and billionaire, whether they're in these industries or not, every single time, the most exciting thing that they're most excited about is this, the who. They go, stay in their back pocket. Keep doing what you're doing and stay in their back pocket because they're going to help you succeed long term.
Mm-hmm.
They go, what you're doing here is fantastic. It works if you work it. Because we're talking about like network marketing companies, right? Multi-level marketing companies. But unfortunately, a lot of those industries are full of a bunch of amateurs. Because like I said, anyone can do it. The problem is anyone is doing it. Just like everyone's joining the gym doesn't mean they're getting fit.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what it takes to succeed there. It's the same thing here. You can just throw a couple $100 at it and go, yay, I'm a business owner. But don't know what you're doing. And then go write a blog and go, well, I tried this thing and it didn't work. Oh, did you also join the gym and then quit that too?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're never do that. They're going to blame something else for the lack of success, not take responsibility of, you know what, I just didn't actually even try. I love it. One of my mentors is so great. He was like, he mentors a lot of people. It's awesome. And he's like, some guy quit on him and was like, dude, you didn't even help me. He's like, you didn't do anything I taught you. And then you gave up. So you know the fastest way to never succeed is to quit.
Yeah.
And so if you have a quitter inside you, don't even start. But I had a quitter inside me, but I killed him. When I met Jake, I found that quitter inside me and said, go away or I'll make you. And I had to make him. Because at the end of the day, I can't make you successful. My mentors can. It's you.
Yeah.
You got to work hard. You're gonna have to want it bad enough. And if you do, yeah, you'll succeed. If not,
It's okay.
you'll blame something else for your lack of success. You'll have an excuse for everything. And all you need is one excuse to never succeed. But you'll need one reason, one dream, one vision, one why to actually go put it in and go succeed. So we're going to talk about these things right here, right? ESPI and how, unfortunately, when you're in the E quadrant, you're always thinking about the what. You're like, I have to be passionate about what I do. But weren't you taught that in school?
Yes.
You're passionate about what you do. Well, there's actually 4 areas of passion that you can apply to become successful. And this right here is the least likely. See, the other ways are your how, your who, and your why. But we're always stuck in that because we're taught that when we're in school. You better love what you do. You'll never work a day in your life. Like, oh, you should. Why? Because if you're going to be an employee, you're going to be doing it the rest of your life. So you got to just stomach it out. right? But at the end of the day, I love it. I was reading this other book. What's his name? Success Man, Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy. He's the editor and owner of Success Magazine. It's a magazine about success, about being an entrepreneur. And he's wrote a bunch of best-selling books. Compound Effect, and what I'm going to talk about is the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. Phenomenal book. And what's so cool in that book, he's talking about this, and he goes, you're going to hate about 98% of what you do if you're trying to pursue success. Mm-hmm. Anyone ever been high in sports, like really active in sports of creating something, or maybe learning an instrument?
Yeah.
Trying to become high, like learn something new?
Volleyball.
Yeah. Was it beautiful?
No. I was so.
Or if you're in a career profession that you're trying to become really good at, is 100% of it just sunshine and rainbows, cupcakes?
Nope.
No. There's parts that suck. Actually, the majority of it sucks. And so it's not about loving what you are doing. It's about loving the results that it's creating for you, or who it's creating it for. Because it's not going to, I mean, here's the thing. You have to go through the suck to get to the success.
Yeah.
This part right here this is non-negotiable. You don't just wake up and the success fairy just sprinkled some dust on your forehead and you wake up and you're like, I'm successful. What?
What? Be careful.
I know, right? Rip my hands out. No, you're gonna have to go through the crap, the grit, the grind, and the uncomfortable, and because success doesn't fit your comfort zone. You have to stretch that, which is super uncomfortable. Why do you think so many people don't get fit? Is because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You have to tear the muscle to rebuild it back up to get stronger. Well, if you want to grow this and this, you gotta rip it, tear it, challenge it, get uncomfortable so that you grow more.
Yeah.
That's doing anything in this life.
Yeah.
It's funny though when you're a kid, you're just all for it, man. You're like, oh, everyone's doing this walking thing. I want to do this too.
Mm-hmm.
So you try to stand up and you're like, and then you try to take a step and you fall right in your face.
Yeah.
And you don't go, oh, man, that was hard. No, you tried to get it again. And you take another step and you fall right in your face again. And then you get up again and you fall right in your face again. And it's not like 5 or 10, 15 times. You're just like, man, this is hard. I don't think this is for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then quit. And instead of walking in here, you crawl. I tried that walking thing. It's not for me. No. See, when you're a kid, you don't care about failing. You just go through it.
Mm-hmm.
You try to talk, you sound like a drunk idiot. And you're walking like a drunk idiot too, right? But you just keep doing it until you get good at it. But all of a sudden you get to school and they teach you that failure's bad. And then people make fun of you for failing, point fingers at you. And then you go to work and then you fail there and then you get in trouble, you get fired. And so all of a sudden, failure is this bad thing.
Yeah.
And that's why changing someone's mindset from being an employee to become an entrepreneur is so challenging. Yeah. Which is why I'm not going to change your mind. You have to be willing to grow that mindset. And if you are, that's the right brain to invest into. If it's not, your boss needs you. I love you, but bye. I can't help you. I can only help those who truly want to help themselves. So who cares about the what? You only like about 2% of what you do. Do I like going up here and talking in front of a bunch of people's judging eyes? No.
These are fluffy, yeah.
I love yes, right? The 2% I like to do, I do love educating. And I like helping people. That's it. But the process of actually doing that, I hate it. But I do it because of these. Right. So the how. Now, everyone has their own strengths and their passion. Because everyone's like, I have to be passionate about what I do. No. It's about bringing passion with you. You're just passionate about what you do and how you do it. Why? Because you have passion. Passionate people just bring passion everywhere they go. And so right here, some people have strengths in how they do things. How does that look? I don't know. Maybe you just love being excellent at whatever you're doing. So whatever you're doing, whether you like it or not, you know you want to be excellent at it, so you do a good job at it. You love just doing a great job at what you do. Right? Jake is a great example of that. Our mentor Jake, I mean, he loves being excellent at whatever he does. I love it. That's his strength. That's not mine. If that's yours, good for you. I hate you. I wish that was me. Because then I would be striving for excellence every day. Now I still try to, but that's not my strength. But I'm growing that. Here's the thing, you can grow that skill set. That's you, fantastic. Here's the other thing, the who. I feel like the majority of people have a big one here. I feel like this is the biggest driver for most people, is who you are doing it for. So if you have a family, you have a future spouse you want to build a future for. Or for myself, when I first got on this, I wasn't married to my wife yet, we were dating. So for me, it was, I want to build something for my future wife. I want to build something for my future kids. I want to build something for my mom. And I want to help my brothers and sisters and their children. Mm-hmm. So for me, my biggest driver was who I was doing it for. I didn't care what I was doing with their lives or not. No, what mattered was, am I going to create that result that I can actually bless them?
Yeah.
Can I provide? Can I actually help? That was my driver. So every day when I was going out there and grinding, going through the suck, I didn't go, man, I don't want to do this. I'm going to go sit on the couch. No, I told my wife I was going to create freedom for her and give her time back. I told her I was going to create a future for our future children. I told my mom I was going to help her financially so she can retire with dignity in her 60s and 70s. I told her grandma that we were going to help her. I'm not doing this for me in my comfort zone. I'm doing it for who I'm doing it for. My passion, I self-motivated. I'm not here to motivate people. I'm trying to find motivated people who just need a little help. I want to inspire those people to go find their reason why and their passion so they can go apply it to get the results that they want. Or maybe it's your why. Maybe it's your vision. Maybe it's the cause that you have. Maybe it's helping, a charity, a church. Maybe it's helping your country, or maybe helping your community. Maybe it's just giving back in a big way and you want to go create that vision.
Yes.
And if that might be your passion. If it's going to create the result that you want, you're not caring about what you have to do to get there. You're just doing it because it's going to create the result for the thing that you're passionate about. See how this is different?
Yes.
But most of us aren't taught that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, what's up, babe?
I understand for how, who, and why.
Yes.
But I don't understand for what.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so passionate about what you do. Right? Some people might be passionate about playing music, right? I might be passionate about playing music. I'm actually not. But here's the thing. You're not trying to be passionate about what you do to create the results. Because even if you're passionate about music, you still have to go through the grind of becoming excellent at that, and actually getting good at playing music sucks. You start growing calluses on your fingers, you go through the suck, and then after you become successful in music, now you have to go travel, and it's tiring, and you're on this crazy schedule. Like, becoming successful at what you do, like to love what you do, it's still gonna suck. So don't worry about what you have to do to get there. Does that make sense? It's not about what you're doing to get there. What matters is who or why and how you're doing it for. Because what's going to suck no matter what if you're trying to become excellent at it. If you love playing the banjo, you're not going to try to create a career out of that. If you do, it's going to suck. But if you love playing the banjo, then just keep it a hobby. Because the best way to kill a hobby is to try to make it a job, your means of income. Because then you're going to have to grind it. Instead of just do it when you want, now you have to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so true success is not about loving what you do. It's loving the result that it's creating. Who you're doing it for, why you're doing it, or you just love being excellent at how you do it. And that's what Darren Hardy talked about, because that's the true entrepreneurial mindset. But most of his employees are never taught that. So understanding ownership. I'm going to talk about Key to Money's ownership. Why? Because most of us don't have any ownership. Ownership. This is the average person. Here they are. He's kind of happy because it's Friday. He trades his time at a job and then gets the money and then spends the money at Brand X. Sounds familiar?
Yeah.
Anyone spend money this month?
Yeah.
Was it at your company? No. He's probably out there, right? They own it, you don't. So who keeps the money?
They do.
They do. It's not a bad thing. You went and bought an iPhone. Yay. You're like, you just did. Yeah, you did. Thank you, Steve Jobs. Right? You paid him money, you get the money. Why? Because Key to Money is ownership. Well, actually, Steve Jobs didn't. He unfortunately passed away. So, yeah. Someone there who owns it, right? the shareholders of Apple, right? The Key to Money's ownership. They keep the money, you don't. You come home with the product. Now all you have is a product. Now you have nothing. So then you go trade your life again for more money, and then you spend it again, and then you come back with nothing, and you just do this over and over and over and over and over again. Monday, Friday, paycheck, Monday, Friday, paycheck, yeah, and then you're dead, yeah.
And then you die.
Work, pay bills, die. You didn't build anything for yourself. You built their company and their wealth, not yours. You built their company and their wealth, not yours. You invested you spent your time here to build their wealth and their future for their children, not yours. And then you took all the time of your life, the majority of your hours, your waking hours, to get that money, and then you spend it to vote for them to succeed in business. And not you, because you don't own it. Because where you spend your spending dollars is who you're voting to succeed in business. So when Leslie bought an iPhone, she voted for Apple and Friends, but not Android and Friends. She voted for them and said, I want you to succeed, and I want you to fail. But when you have no ownership, you're only voting for everyone else to succeed. But guess who's left out? You. Because you have no ownership. Key to money is ownership. If Steve Jobs was still alive, would he ever walk around with an Android?
No.
Sure. Well, this thing's cooler. No, he didn't care. Bill Gates ain't walking around with an iPhone, that's for sure. And if he has one, it's in his basement. He's studying it to try to make it better.
In his secret laboratory.
So at the end of the day, he's always going to invest in himself. Actually, he has his kids sign a contract. Bill Gates has a contract with his kids that they can never be caught holding an Apple product. So if I'm his friend, right? Hey, Bill Gates' daughter,
Yes.
check out this video.
Oh my gosh.
She can't do that.
They're gonna take a picture of me.
She's gonna go, oh heck no. Try to hand this to me, and I'm Bill Gates' daughter.
Careful.
Oh heck no!
Oh no, you didn't.
That's my legacy. My daddy gonna give me money if I don't do that. If I do that, no money. But he isn't gonna give them much. He's gonna give them enough to actually go do something for themselves, which is awesome. It's not just give it to them. But they will get nothing if they do that. Because what happens if all of his kids all of a sudden are holding apples? And then that goes in the tabloids. And they go, wow, Bill Gates' kids don't even believe in their parents' company.
Yeah.
Key to money is
Ownership.
You got to represent you. See, it's funny how every multimillionaire, billionaire, every successful person represents themselves. And they just do it. Why? Because they know their own worth. When you're an employee, you don't know your own worth. You're always representing everyone else, but never yourself. And then if someone goes, hey, you should represent yourself, you're like all timid, like, oh no, that'd be weird. But then you see LeBron James go, hey man, buy my Nikes. And you go, okay, LeBron, I'll support you, but not myself. You feel weird supporting yourself and representing yourself, but you're okay with wearing LeBrons? That's weird. It's because you probably just don't know your own worth yet. I represent myself every day. I represent the Wood family in our household, in our legacy. No one else's. I mean, I'm partnered with other people, and we represent each other's because of those connections. Like LeBron James doesn't go, I don't represent Nike. No, he does. He goes, heck yeah, I represent Nike because it represents me. Here's a good example of ownership. Kobe Bryant. Anyone know about Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
Basketball player,
Mm-hmm.
famous dude, right? Just unfortunately passed away.
Yeah.
His last game got done. A competitor, his opponents, someone who idolized, Kobe Bryant, walked up to him and said, hey, Kobe, can you sign my shoes? And Kobe looks at his shoes and they're Adidas. And Kobe grabs them and says, sure, throws them away, grabs some Kobe's, which are Nike, signs them and gives them to him. There you go. Because he's going to represent himself. I ain't signing those Adidas. I have nothing against them, but it's not for me. Because that's not representing me. Another example of that, Michael Jordan. Anyone know Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
The famous, the GOAT, the greatest of all time of basketball, right? The GOAT, yeah, that's what it's called. Right?
Oh.
The greatest of all time. So he's the GOAT. He's at the Olympics. It's the first year that all the NBA players are representing the Olympics here in America. And the team, the company that sponsored the Olympic basketball team is Reebok. And so once they won gold, they're like, awesome, you have to wear the jacket that has the huge Reebok logo on it. And they knew Michael was against that, and they're like, hey, if you don't wear your jacket, then you don't get your gold medal. He's like, cool, I'll wear the jacket. So he walks out, with the American flag wrapped around his shoulders. He's like, I got my goal. And I'm representing you because you don't represent me. He understood his own value. And people are like, oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous. No. He understood ownership. Understand your ownership. And that's when our mentor said, Michael, be connected with the right people. Have ownership of you. And what's cool is you can get all the stuff that you were going to get anyways. And guess what? It will come back to you. If you're going to buy your own stuff, if Michael Jordan buys some Nikes, some Jordans, it comes back right to him. Key to money's ownership. He's not going to go buy Yeezys by Kanye West. He doesn't own that. He's going to go to himself. Always. Key to money's ownership. Simple as that. But what's so cool, so that I showed you a traditional business and how traditional businesses are built. I'm going to teach you understanding around information age businesses, usually information age type businesses, leveraging in the information age today so you don't have to take all the millions and billions of dollars of debt or get all the money from other people just to start your own company. Because here's the thing, if you take a loan or you take someone else's money to start your business, it's not your business.
Nope.
It's not your dream anymore, they own it. That's why you want to have ownership. It's so key, or you don't have nothing. That's why Steve Jobs lost his job with Apple, because the investors fired him. Because even though he created the company, they owned it. Now they eventually got it back because he said, we're failing without you, right? But at the end of the day, key to money's ownership. That's why you want to have ownership of yourself and not have anyone else. So this right here, my wife and I are 4 pillars. That's us. 4 pillars is my wife and I. We represent ourselves. Every single person in this room or on the live stream tonight that has earned mentorship is in business for themselves. Not by themselves, but for themselves. Why? Because key to money is ownership. And there's only one dream in every business, and it's the business owners, not the employees.
Right.
I'm not building their dream, they're not building mine, but together we build each other's. Just like Michael Jordan's not building Nike's dream, and Nike's not building Michael Jordan, but together they leverage each other to build that. Because that's how business works, that's how success works. And so my wife and I partnered with Amway Global, just like our mentors. Why? Because they work and they do a great job. It wasn't glamorous. I wasn't looking for fancy, I was looking for what worked. I ain't looking for the coolest thing, I'm looking for what works. Because at the end of the day, I don't really care. I'm like, cool, you're gonna help me, you're gonna invest your time, your wealth, and knowledge into me for years to help me succeed. Cool, I'll do whatever. Because this right here is phenomenal, but a lot of people utilize it incorrectly. I make fun of most people who partner with Amway. Why? Because they're amateurs. It's all amateur hour. They hype up, sign up, they throw you like one on the wall, so you say good luck, see you later, and then there's no true investment. Because they're all small business people or employees trying to apply it to a business, which means they're going to get employee or small business type results. Broke. That's why I was looking for B quadrant mentors who could teach me and understand how to create a B quadrant asset utilizing the same concepts. If I gave you a basketball, how much is it worth?
How much the ball's worth?
Yeah, if it's in the box, 24 bucks.
Oh.
Maybe 19 bucks if it was a cheaper ball. If I give Michael Jordan that same ball, how much is it worth? Millions of dollars. Whose hands is it in matters so much. Yeah. If you put the Amway Global business in an amateur's hands and he has no idea what it means it takes to actually succeed in business, how much is that worth? Wasted time, wasted effort. He's probably going to quit. He might succeed. He has the potential of succeeding, but will he? Nah, there's a lot less chance if he didn't have the people who are going to help him. Whose hands are you in? If you're in amateur hours hands, you're probably going to be in amateur hours. If you're in professional hands who are successful long term, you're probably, if you listen and apply long term, work hard. Show me your mentor, I'll show you your future. If you don't have one, you're living your future. And then we have the system, Worldwide Dream Builders. I like to call this entrepreneurial university. Being taught and trained how to become an entrepreneur, think like one, from people who are entrepreneurs, not just theory, not just some company. No, this company is built of people who have built this organization long-term for the last 40 plus years to apply to here to help you, teach you the mindset and attitude and all the resources and tools to sustain something big enough long-term. This is phenomenal. This right here is like, I like to call this your workout program, your diet program, and access to your coach. Access to the coach who has the results that you're looking for long-term and has helped other people get the same results, utilizing the exact same diet program and workout program, applying it to the gym. I like to call it Amway the gym. Why? Because the gym's great. You need the gym to get fit. But just because you join the gym doesn't mean you get fit. It means you have the potential, you have the the resources to, but now you have to apply it correctly, which is why you need this to apply it to here to get fit. Now, do you need this to get fit in the gym? I don't know. Some people do. But for me, I wanted this. Why? Because it was going to help develop me as a person. This is people building. Worldwide Dream Builders. It's here to build people. That's why I'm here to build you, to help you grow so then you can be successful long term. That's why you are the #1 investment. Amway Global has been around for 61 years. 61 years plus. That's pretty good. That's longevity. They're privately held, no long-term debt. What does that mean? No stockholders, no investors, none of that crap. They're not part of the New York Stock Exchange. They own themselves. No long-term debt. Since the 70s, they've never had any debt and owned anyone money long-term. That's awesome. Meaning they also own themselves. No one else does. Key to money's ownership. That's why they've been thrive for the last 60 plus years, because they always stuck to their values. And they don't have anyone else coming in with their money going, hey, now we own, so now we're switching up things to be our values, which is just profit. No, their values were people. We want to give people the opportunity to have ownership in this free enterprise economy that we have and leverage our success for their own success. Freedom, family, faith, reward. They wanted those values and they stuck to them for the last 61 plus years. And always lived them out. Perfectly? No. Why? Because we're human. But if there ever was something close to it, it's these guys. They're phenomenal. Richard J. Van Andel, amazing people who wanted to truly help people. And they have for the last 60 plus years. And their kids and kids have been doing it now. Because it's a family-owned business. That's legit. Then the other thing is they're worth $10 billion last year. $10 billion in sales. Privately held, no stock, no investors. $10 billion. That's freaking legit. Name another multi-billion-dollar company that's privately held and no long-term debt and has been around for that many decades.
Nope.
No. That's why this is a phenomenal partner of mine. I don't own them. They don't own me. I don't work for them. They don't work for me. But together we work with each other.
Right.
Just like Nike and LeBron. But obviously it's a different partnership we have here. That's awesome. See this right here? They do 3 things for us. Number 1 is they make product. You might go, well, Michael, is it any good? I mean, they're $10 billion, been around for 61 years. Obviously, they know what they're doing. I love when Darren Hardy, that guy who's Success Magazine, he's like, it's not about the product. What matters is, does it move? Is it going to add value to the marketplace? If it does, it's going to work. That's all that matters. It doesn't be that great. Look at McDonald's. Look at Walmart. It's not the best, but it works. What's cool is they have the #1 health and nutrition company in the entire world. #1. #1 health and nutrition company. That nutrition company's been around for over 80 years. They bought it, called Nutrilite. Organically farmed from seed to pill, all through them. Highest quality stuff you can get in the marketplace. It's awesome. They own them. Guess what? My wife and I own them. We represent them. They represent us. And then they have the #5 skincare and cosmetic company in the world. That's legit. #5. #1 in Europe, called Artistry. So we females, y'all wear makeup?
Yeah.
Cool, that's legit. Jake did this. He said, Michael, or Dan, do you eat food?
Oh yeah,
Do you want to get paid to eat food?
please.
Leslie, do you wear makeup?
Yes.
Do you want to get paid to do so?
Yes.
Hey, Michael Jordan, you wear shoes. Do you want to get paid to wear shoes? It's what they all do, but yet people freak out. They're like, oh, it's just soap. Every household in America has soap.
Yeah.
That's why they've been thriving for the last 61 years.
Yeah.
I love when people miss that. I just go, we'll be free on Monday still. It's okay. I'm sorry. Met the gentleman who built Worldwide Dream Builders, Ron Career, 40 plus years ago. He said it's a stupid test.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, you use soap. You clean your house, you clean yourself, you clean your bathtub, you clean your windows, you clean your laundry, you clean your dishes, you clean all that stuff. Oh, and then we have makeup. Women, you wear that, skincare and makeup, do all that stuff. Awesome. Men, you have skin. Take care of it. You should. Why? Because it's the biggest organ on your body. You thought something else was. It's not. It's your skin. It's part of it.
Oh, no.
But it's not the whole thing. You should take care of it. We own the #5 skincare and cosmetic company in the world. Take care of your skin. I do now. Why? Because I own the company. I didn't before. I stopped consuming like a consumer. I'm consuming like a business owner.
Yeah.
That's it. I represent me, so I take care of this. because I own the number 5 skincare company in the world. My wife never took vitamins. We own the number 1 health and nutrition company in the world. She started taking vitamins. Why? Because we own the number 1 health and nutrition company in the entire world, and it made sense. And if it makes sense, it makes dollars.
Dollars.
They have the number, like they have an amazing nutrition line, sports nutrition line. They just came out with a CBD cream. If you don't use CBD cream, don't use it. I don't use mascara, so I don't use it. I represent it, but doesn't mean I have to use it. Walton family, Walmart's, they might not eat pig's ears, but they have them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to use them, but they represent it. Why? Because people use it. We own the number 1 energy drink online, number 2 in the free market called Excess. Back in the day, I never drank energy drinks because I felt like my heart was going to explode every time I drank one.
It was terrible.
And now Amway is all about health and having the highest quality, and this is the healthiest one you can get, so they partner with them called Excess. It used to only be sold in Costco's, and then Amway went to them and said, hey, you partner with us, and they, heck yeah, I want your network. So they partnered with us, exclusive to us. That's awesome. And I started drinking it, and I feel great, so I started drinking it. If you don't drink energy, you don't have to. But how many people do? Do we have water? What's it good for, Michael? Hydration. They have a filtering system. They have over 500 basic commodities. Stuff. Things that you're going to buy and then use, and then buy, and then use, and then buy, and use, and buy, and use, and your kids will do it, and your kids' kids will do it. Until Armageddon and there's a zombie apocalypse, we're all going to use those products. It's awesome. So guess what? In a good or bad economy, ladies, just to put on makeup, most of you are tonight. Oh my gosh. Guys, you're still going to eat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're still going to consume? Did anyone wash themselves today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good or bad economy? Not a good economy, you're still washing yourself. Maybe like less, but you're still going to do it. You're quarantined at home, maybe you're taking a shower once a week instead of every day or every other day. But you're still doing it, correct?
Right.
You wash your dishes this week?
Yes.
Okay, great. Good. It's a bad economy, you're still doing it. That's why our business still not only sustained, but thrives during this time. Why? Because everyone's still using all that stuff anyways.
Right.
But I think Walmart and Amazon, all of these companies are still thriving in a good or bad economy. Why? Basic commodities. Create your own economy. Don't be subject to the economy. When the economy goes down, people use basic commodities. Economy goes up, people use basic commodities. Simple. Simple. Not sexy. Simple. But simple duplicates, it works. And then what's really cool, the true opportunity we have is opportunity itself. So in a good economy, people are looking for opportunity. When we got around this, it was a great economy, but I was looking for more. In a bad economy, more people are looking for more. So guess what? We're thriving in a good or bad economy. That's fantastic. It's just product. My wife and I, we use all of our own stuff. If we can get it somewhere else, we don't. If we can get it from ourselves, we always get it for ourselves. We can't buy a car from ourselves, so guess what? I go buy a car from someone else.
Right.
That's it. Number two thing they do is partners. They have partners. They create partners. Anyone know of Apple?
Yes.
We talked about them earlier. How about Target?
Yes.
Best Buy?
Yes.
Home Depot? Office Depot? Cabela's? Yeah, sports. They're gone. Dick's Sporting Goods, right? AT&T, Sprint, Kohl's, Nike, Under Armour. Anyone heard of these companies?
Yeah.
That's great. We're partnering with them. So if my wife and I can't get the products from ourselves, we go to ourselves.
If you need a steak, go to Omaha
I'll
Steak.
teach you how that actually works, but it's real simple. If we can't get toilet paper, because we don't create toilet paper, we go to our partners. I didn't create those partners. We go to Office Depot. Why? Because we get the most money back by doing that partner. Office Depot, I didn't create that partnership. Imagine my wife and I calling up Office Depot. Hey guys, we're 4 Pillars. We want a partner. Click. Hello? You still there? No. Office Depot, Apple, Best Buy, all these companies came to Amway and said, hey, we want to partner with you. Why? Because multi-millionaire billionaires understand the value of the network. Amway has a massive network. They went, hey, I want to tap that network. So they partnered with them. And our lawyers with Amway, our partners, and their lawyers for 5 years with Apple hashed it out to create a partnership that would be equally beneficial. So I love when people go, well, I've heard that Amway thing. Isn't it a pyramid scheme? It's like, well, pyramid scheme is a term that is an illegal business. So no, you're not around for 60 plus years and partner with Fortune 100 companies because you do things wrong.
No.
Actually, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, the company that government agency that regulates companies not only deems Amway as a legal way of doing business, but as the model for all network marketing companies. They call it the Amway standard. If another network marketing company pops up and it doesn't work the way that Amway does, they deem it illegal and shut it down. That's a good endorsement.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to do your business research online, go to the correct source, like the FTC, not Google and some broke person going, well, I tried that thing, it didn't work.
Right.
Because if you are going to listen to him, then he could be your mentor and you can have his results. Living in his mom's basement. No, thank you. Partners, understand that these companies, the Fortune 100 companies that I just named that we're partnered with, they understand business a little bit more than the guy who wrote the blog. A little bit more than your best friend or your mommy. So do business research from people who actually understand business, not from people who don't. Which is why we're building relationships. You come back to us so we can educate you effectively. Because we've actually built it, not the person who didn't build it. That'd be kind of unintelligent. Number three. The number three thing that Amway does first is they pay money. They do a great job. They paid over $62 billion in bonuses and incentives back to their independent distributors. $62 billion in bonuses and back to their independent distributors. That's a lot. So a lot of people go, this doesn't work. I go, they paid over $62 billion back to people like my wife and I, our mentors, their mentors, and associates like around the different 100 countries and territories that Amway is in. They paid over $62 billion back to us. Not based off of our position, but based off of our effort. If you partner with Amway and do nothing, you got none of this.
Right.
If you got and did a lot more than everyone else, then you got most of this. Not most of it, but more than everyone else.
Yeah.
It's all based off of merits, not your position. Our mentor, Howie Danzig, got around this in 1991. Within a couple of years, he replaced his couple $100,000 income at his physical therapy practice. Within a couple of years, was thriving. Within 10 years, was making more than his sponsor and his mentor, who had been around this industry for over 15 years. That's awesome.
Not a
He's been financially independent for this around over 15 years, and he was making more than that guy above him. Because Terry Felber said, hey, I will help you. And I want you to help make more than me, because if you make a lot, I make a little of a lot.
Yeah.
If you make a lot, then I make a lot of that. More. It's a percentage. It's the opposite of your job. You bring in $1, you keep a dime. Here, you make $1, I keep a dime for helping you. But if you do nothing, I get nothing. If you earn nothing, I earn nothing, which is why I want you to succeed long term. That's an investment. Our mentors, Jake and Jolene, got a huge ROI, return on investment, for helping us for the last 5 years. But they didn't see much of that for the first 4. Because we didn't succeed for the first 4. We were failing like crazy. And then we started succeeding. So they were patient enough to invest into us, but we had to be patient enough to allow the results to come at the pace that they were going to come, not the pace that we wanted it. Because shoot, man, we wanted it in 5 days. Guess what? It didn't happen. Success takes time. So that's really what I'm diving tonight, the concepts and understanding. Then my wife's going to come up for the next 5 hours. I'm just kidding, no. Like 15, 20 minutes to really dive into the numbers of how that actually works. If it's your first time seeing the numbers, you're probably not going to understand it. Why? Because it's your first time seeing the numbers. You've never been shown a business plan. It's not like you came to your company and you got a job and the owner pulls out a sheet and goes, awesome, here's the business overview. This is how much you produce for the company. This is how much we make from you. And this is how all the numbers work. You've never been shown that. And so now we're going to show you a business plan and you're going to go, I don't fully understand it. That's okay. That's why we go through this education process. So coming out of this room, you're going to sit down with the person that brought you in this room so we can sit down and really dive into those details to really help you understand how that all works. This is just the first time seeing it. It's just like when you go the first time get into a calculus class, you don't understand everything, but you take the time to fully understand it, which is why we're going to take the time to actually help you and educate you. Cool?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm proud of you, baby. You are so amazing. I love being free with you. I love burning life with you. I'm excited to just keep kicking butt, helping so many people. You deserve every little bit of freedom that you have gotten so far and everything to come. Love you. Everyone give her a hand.
So yeah, like Michael said, I'm just going to take 15, 20 minutes, go through an overview of how the numbers work. And yeah, it's okay if you don't understand all of it, because that's why you're going to sit down with the person who brought you in here today. They're going to break it down a lot more. But like Michael talks a lot about, when we saw this 5 years ago, it didn't really matter to us what it was. It was like, if it's legal, moral, and ethical, we'll do it, because what we were doing wasn't working, right? 4 jobs going to school, he had 5 jobs, and a lot of you are in that same spot where you're just working a lot and you're trying to get ahead, and it's not working, especially today. The whole pandemic has really just shifted the economy so much that a lot of people are realizing their jobs are not as secure as they thought they were. There was, how many people lost their jobs during this time? Millions
Well,
of
40
people.
million are on unemployment. That's not the people who did that.
Yeah, millions of people that lost their job. And so, when Michael and I saw this, we knew that we wanted to do something different because we didn't want that to be us. And our coaches, Jake and Jolene, they're so awesome. They were talking about how when they first saw this, it was right around 2007, 2008. Their construction company had just gone under because of the recession that happened, 10, 15 years ago when that happened. And they went, we're so grateful that we built this opportunity, that shook us up enough that we went, we have to do something different. That, we didn't just settle back into the comfort, which you're seeing a lot of people do now, right? People are starting to go back to work. Things are starting to go back to somewhat normal, and people are settling into the comfort of, okay, I guess, that sucked for those couple of weeks that I couldn't work, but it's not that bad, right? They're falling back into their old routine. And Jake and Jolene were like, I'm so grateful that we didn't do that, because if we had done that, if we had just gone, wow, we got shaken up by the whole construction company going under, we got into all this debt, but we're just gonna keep working our jobs and just hope that something changes. Then what would have happened to them during this time?
Right.
Same thing. But during this time, they thrived because they decided to make a different decision 10 years ago. They decided not to just settle back into what everyone in society was doing. Like, let's go back to our jobs and just hope that it'll take care of us for the next 50 years. And you look at that with everyone who's had a job, they've probably gone through something like that every 10 years. Usually the economy does this, right? Every 7 to 8 years, something shakes it up, whether it's real estate. Now it's a pandemic. I guarantee you in 10 years, something else is going to happen. And do you want to be that person that goes, wow, I made a decision today to go build my future and do something different so that in 10 years, I'm good. I'm not worried about losing my job. I'm not worried about what's going to happen to my family or my future family. Or are you going to be the person who's going, shucks, I just kind of let it take me away again.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you're truly looking at it today. That's why we do what we do, because we want to show people that there is a different way. And Michael and I saw that. We just went, these people seem like they're legitimate, right? We had just met Jake and Jolene, but we were like, these people seem amazing. They're good people. They've got great lives. They have great fruit on the trees. So to us, it didn't matter. Because our friends and our family, regardless of what they said, or regardless of what an internet blog said, we just went, those things are not going to ever pay our bills. Our friends and family are not ever going to, just swoop in and make our dreams come true, regardless of whether they approve of what we're doing or not. So we got to go and build our own future.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully you have that same mindset out of today. And so, like I said, quick overview of the business. But the first concept is ownership. Like Michael talked a lot about, right? Ownership, owning something, and being able to take your dollars and go vote for yourself, vote for your own success. So that's what we teach you to do, is take your money and go to some place that you own. And when you partner with Imway, you get to have ownership over all of those products that they make. Like Michael talked about, the #1 health and nutrition company in the world called Nutrilite. It's all organically farmed. Everything from seed to pillows through them. Their body weight management line called Body Key. It's all food products. Hopefully you all eat food. If you don't eat food, I don't know what you're eating.
You're a zombie.
Right, we have food products. Yeah, if you don't eat food, you're probably a zombie. And you're probably not ready membership. So just as a precursor, right? Then you have your body care cleaning line, like shampoo, conditioner, body wash. Like Michael said, hopefully you shower or brush your teeth. So it's toothbrushes, toothpaste, things that you're going to use all the time. So we're going to teach you how to spend those dollars that you already buy those products at the store. And so just transition those to buying from yourself. And when you buy from yourself, you create volume. And every business creates volume. If you don't create volume, then you don't have a business, right? That's why a lot of businesses, unfortunately, because they had to shut down for this quarantine, you'll see a lot of businesses are going out of business. Like we just heard GNC is going bankrupt. They just filed for bankruptcy.
Yep.
That's a huge company. That's a multi-million-dollar company that is filing for bankruptcy because they had 2 months of shutdown. That is crazy. That a multi-million-dollar company can be swept away just from 2 months of not creating volume
Brick and mortar.
through their store. So that's what we want to help you do, create volume. So when you do that, there's 4 big ways to do that. The first way is through personally using your own products through Amway. We just talked about that, so I'm not going to really expand because that, I think, makes pretty much common sense, right? Buy your own products, you create volume. Then the second way is through personally using from partner stores. So like Michael said, Amway doesn't make everything. They don't make things like clothes or furniture or shoes or electronic stuff. So let's say I wanted to get a new computer. I could probably go to a couple different stores. And so I'm going to log into Amway, I'm going to go to my partner stores, and I'm going to figure out which one I want to buy from. So every partner store has a different contract with Amway. Sometimes you get cash back, sometimes you get a discount, and then sometimes you get both. So if I wanted to get a new computer, I could go look at Apple. I could go look at Lenovo. I think they're partnered with Microsoft too. So those are 3 big technology companies right there. Then I could go check out Best Buy. I could go to Office Depot, and I could figure out which one is going to give me the best basically bang for my buck, right? Which one has the best contract so that I can get all of those products that I need. I'm going to buy a new computer anyways. Now I just get the benefit of getting a discount or cash back or both on that. So that's the second way. The third way is through Bank of America Visa. So Bank of America has a Visa credit card that they have offered to all independent business owners. So they said, hey, we want to offer you a credit card that every single dollar that you spend, you're going to get a percentage of cash back on all of your dollars, which is awesome. Michael and I use that for everything in our life, and then we just pay it off at the end of every single month so that we're not carrying balance. We don't want to go into debt. We don't want to teach you to go into debt, so just pay it off, budget it out, but you're getting all of that cash back coming back to you for things that you're going to buy on that credit card anyways. It's like a gas rewards card points, but for your entire life. So that's the third way. The fourth way is through retail. Having a few customers, and this is something that the Federal Trade Commission talked about. They said, hey, you have to have some customers outside of what you personally buy. Otherwise, you're wholesale buying from, and that's illegal. So we don't want to have you do that. You have to have some customers. And this is unfortunately where people, they make the decision based on this business just solely off of that. They go, well, everything else sounds great. You know, I was all for the mentorship and having my own products, but now that you said I have to have a few customers, like, no. And I just go, I look at if Michael and I had done that 5 years ago, we would have said, you know, everything sounds good. We really, really want to build, you know, our future. We want to be a full-time couple. We want to have, you know, full-time parents. Like, we want to do all that. But now that you mentioned I have to have some customers, no, we're just going to give up the life that we have today because we didn't want to have 3 or 4 customers. That sounds dumb the first time you say it. Right? So don't make the decision based off of this one aspect. We want to teach you to do it professionally. We want to teach you to do it well, so you're just serving people in the marketplace. I mean, sometimes people come back and they're like, well, I read that you have to sell a lot. And I go, where did you read that? You didn't hear that from us, from the people who actually built the business. So I have no idea what you read on the internet about the business, right? So go to get the information from someone who's actually done it, from someone who is teaching you, not from some random Joe Schmo, right? And also, this is an amazing part of the business because you get to have some profit. Right off the bat, you get to start making profit. So it's definitely a foundation of the business. I don't want to downplay it in any way, but don't make the decision just based off of that aspect, right? It's pretty silly. So then you're going to get paid 3 ways from there. The first way is through savings, and the second way is through profit from your customers, and then the third way is through a bonus. And Amway has a bonus scale that goes from 3 to 31%. And so with that, I'm going to explain just a real-time example of how that works. So Amway has a scale. They measure the volume running through your store, and it's called PV. PV stands for point value. It's a way to measure the amount of dollars that are being spent in your store. So the more dollars you spend, the more points that are running through your store. So they have that on a 1-to-3 ratio. So 1 point value equals $3 at what they call IBO price. IBO price is like a discounted price that you get as a business owner. It's also referred to as BV, business volume. The BV part you don't have to pay too much attention to. It's really just for Amway's standards so they can measure that. They know how to PU your bonus. So as an IBO, you don't have to pay too much attention, but you'll receive some legal documents coming out of here that are going to talk about this example I'm going to go through. You'll see BV on there, so I want to mention it so that way you're not confused when you see it later on that document. But based off of this scale, every product in Amway has 2 prices. So one is the IBO price that I just mentioned, it's the discounted price, and then the second price is the retail price. So it's a market price that you have for customers. So every store has that, right? When you go to Target, the products they have on the shelf, they bought that from a third-party company at a wholesale price, and then they mark it up and they sell it to us as customers at the retail price.
Yep.
That's essentially the difference here. Is IBO price is like our wholesale, and then retail is the second price. So that is about a 20 to 35% difference between the discounted and the retail price. So let's say you were going to buy about 100 points worth of products in your own store. This is what you personally use. You're going to use all of these products for the whole month: soap, vitamins, food products, energy drinks, body care, whatever you're going to get for the month that you're going to personally use in your households. It's 100 points worth of products. If we're going to go based off of this scale here, that would be about $300 that you spent in your own store at the IBO price. You're obviously going to get the discounted IBO price. The difference would be about a $60 difference between the retail cost. So you would save $60 by going to your own store, which is awesome. I've never gone to Target and bought products there, and they're like, hey, excuse me, miss, you saved $60 by buying here, so we're going to put this in a savings account for you, and then you can use that for whatever you need to. If it happened, I would go shop at Target a lot more. That would be awesome. And then for your profit, let's say you had 50 points of customer volume that ran through your store. These are from, your aunt, your uncle, your mom, dad. They buy some products from you. It's about 50 points worth of stuff. That would be $150 at the IBO cost, but obviously you would sell it to them at the retail price because they're customers of yours. And so the difference would be about a $30 profit for you, because Amway goes, hey, great job. You did the work to have that customer go to you and buy at your store, so we're going to give you that profit back. And then now comes the bonus. So on the documents you'll receive, you'll see the bonus scale that goes from 3 to 31%. So every time you move up on the bonus scale, you move up in points. So the more points you have, the higher you go on the bonus scale. At this example, there's 150 points that ran through your entire store for the whole month. So you're at a 3% on the bonus scale now. And they'll measure the bonus by giving you 3% of the dollar amount that ran through your store at the IBO price, or the BV. So 450 times 3%, and that would be your bonus, which is $13.50. So $13.50 is what you made for going to your own store. So this is awesome. In this example, if we were to add all this up with your savings and your profit, it would be $103.50. And so that's awesome, right? Some people go, well, that doesn't seem like that much, because that's kind of the employee mindset talking, like, oh, $103, that's not that much. And you probably got on this live stream or came into this room because you want to make more than $103. But in this example, you didn't even build a business. You just bought products from yourself. You had like 1 or 2 customers that bought from you, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so if you're thinking with the entrepreneur mindset, you're going, how many people could I teach to do just that? Because that is so simple. And that's where duplication comes in. That's where V equals N squared comes in. And Worldwide Dream Builders is a training organization to teach you how to utilize this business model to teach you to build this business in the most profitable way that they believe is the most profitable way to build it. Right? They've got a personal development program. They have seminars, training, resources. They build apps for us as business owners to make it so much easier. They built all of that on the back end for us. They built a system that we can then take, we can duplicate it, we can teach other people how to build a business too. And so that is Worldwide Dream Builders. It's an approved provider. There's about 7 different training organizations that teach how to build Amway, and Worldwide Dream Builders is the one that we are a part of. So even if you've seen this business before, you may have seen it from a different training organization, and it could be a totally different way of building the business, which is why we take people through the education process so you can really get to see how we build it, because it could be completely different. And so with this business, you have the opportunity to share it with other people and to build a network of people that have the exact same opportunity as you. And so let's say this is you, and in Worldwide, we teach you to really identify anywhere from 12 to 20 business partners that you can sponsor into business with you, because it's a really solid foundation of people. It's showing that you're really profitable in the business. And so let's say you identify 12 people, and these are not people that you just hype up and sign up, you sell and recruit to get into your business. That's not how we teach to build it. Right? None of you were hyped up and signed up to get into this room or come onto this live stream tonight. You were taken through an education process, and so these are people that you've taken through an education process. They really want to build a business, and so you can sponsor them, and they have the exact same opportunity as you do. So they're going to do their own points. Right? Let's say you're running about 300 points in your store, and then this person is running, 200, 400, 150, 500, 300, so on and so forth, right? They're all going to do their own points based on their own personal consumption. And then some people are going to go build a business because some people want to go build a business. Some people are going to kind of just personally grow themselves, maybe not build it just yet. And then some people are going to quit. That's just the nature of life, right? When you go to the gym, some people are really, really fit. Some people are just kind of fit. Like half the year they're kind of fit, and then Christmas rolls around and they're not so fit anymore. And then, there's some people that go January 1st and then they just never go back. And that's everything. Sometimes people come back and they go, I read on the internet, some people quit this business. Yeah, people quit a lot of stuff. This business is not different. People quit this business typically because it takes work.
Yeah.
Right? They get in and they go, man, I wasn't looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, but I sure hope this is one of them. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, shucks, it's not.
Yeah.
So obviously, right, it takes work. But that's why we teach you to build a foundation of 12 to 20 business partners, because you're really working with people who you're going to identify people who want to build a business with you. And so let's say, you have an organization that continues to grow, you start duplicating, and this is really where the big money starts to come in, because you're starting to duplicate through a network of people that have the exact same opportunity as you do. And because all of those points are all part of your organization, all of those points add up. And so let's say you build a business to the point where at the end of the month, they add up to 7,500 points. This is what we call platinum in the business. And on the document that you'll get out of tonight, you'll see the average platinum income is about $60,000 a year. That's pretty average for platinum, which is awesome. The average American income for someone that works 40 hours a week for 50 weeks a year is $35,000 for an entire year. Of how many hours is that? 40 hours a week times 50 weeks a year is disgusting. That's how many hours that is. It's so gross how much people work in America. It's crazy. But just as a platinum, something that you build part-time, like on the evenings and weekends, when you are already working a full-time job, you could make double what the average American makes working all year. That's awesome. This is where a lot of people get to pay off debt. This is where Michael and I paid off the rest of our debt, because we had expendable cash flow outside of our jobs, and then we started to put money in the bank, put a year's worth of income in the bank, which is incredible. And that gave us so much security, because if something happens to our job, if we get in an accident, if we break a bone, or we, lose our job, something happens, we're going to be fine because we have a plan B. And hopefully on here tonight, and this is, I think, where people sometimes get mistaken. They feel like they have to hate their job to want more or to want to build something. And that is not true at all. You could love what you do, but why not go create some security outside of what you do?
Yeah.
So that if what you love to do right now, maybe isn't what you're going to love in 5 years, and you want an option. Or maybe you love what you do, but a pandemic, you just can't work.
Yeah.
You have an option, right? So that's what we teach in the business. And let's say you keep duplicating, you keep growing an organization of people, right? Maybe you start to double your business, because B equals N squared, right? The value of your network is network squared. Duplication is amazing. So you start growing an even bigger organization, and you reach 15,000 points. This is what we call a ruby. And a ruby typically makes double what a platinum would make. And this is what Michael and I saw. This is what allowed us to walk away from our jobs, because when we started to make double what we made at our jobs outside of it, on a part-time basis, we were like, the job is kind of getting in the way. Like, it doesn't make sense to wake up at 6 a.m. anymore. We don't want to do that. We want to sleep in. We want to cuddle all the time. We don't want to go and work separately from each other. And, this is why we share this business with people, because we get to have the kind of life that we have today. It's been about 9 months that we haven't had a job. And those last couple of days, we've been doing an incentive for all our group and things like that. And so we were joking, like, the last 2 days of just getting everything together is the most time we've spent apart since we walked away from our jobs, which is awesome. And we still saw each other throughout the day. It was just for like an hour or two. Right? We didn't really see each other that much.
Like, I miss you.
I know. Jolene and I were joking about that too. She's like, where Jake and I saw each other last night. We were like, man, it's been like 8 hours since I saw you last. I miss you. So, that's what we wanted though. And some couples, sometimes we talk to couples and they're like, man, I couldn't be at home with my spouse for 8 hours a day. I'm like, you married the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because it is a blast to be with each other all day long.
Yeah.
And we get to actually choose what we do with our life. We get to wake up when we want to wake up. Right? Some days we wake up at 8:30 and it's awesome. Some days we wake up at 10:30 and it's even more awesome. So that's sleep in. So we want to teach people that that is available. Obviously, your version of being financially independent is going to look different from ours, but we just want to make that available to you.
Yeah.
So these 2 levels are amazing. They're based off creating volume, though. And these next 2 levels that I'll talk about are really about helping people build a business themselves, because Amway wanted the biggest compensation to come from helping other people, to really help people make money before you start to make any, really significant income. And so this level is called an Emerald level. It's where you help 3 people go 7,500 or above. So you help 3 people create this platinum income here. And our coaches, Jake and Jolene, hit this Emerald level about a year ago. And what's so cool about the Emerald level is you start to have some extra income, right? Ruby kind of pays for your life. You buy your time back. You get to pay for all your bills, your business expenses, all that kind of stuff. But Emerald provides a little extra, which is awesome. And our coaches, Jake and Jolene, we've been able to see them provide financially, for almost completely financially, for all of their parents. They know their parents don't have any retirements, and so that was a big dream for them, is to be able to provide for them when they got older, when they started to get to that retirement age, and they've been able to do that at that level. They've been able to give a lot more. And when we sit down with people and we ask them what their dreams are, like, why do they want more out of life? A lot of times it's because we just want to give more. Like, we want to be able to provide for our family. We want to be able to help, mom, dad, or sister, or brother, grandma, grandpa, right? We want to be able to take care of them. We want to be able to give to churches and charities, things that we believe in. We want to be able to start nonprofits or whatever it is. And Emeralds really is a level that you can start to do a lot of that stuff. And then the next level is called the Diamond level. It's where you help 3 more people, so a total of 6. Go platinum or above. And so Emerald provides a little extra. Diamond is usually a lot extra. So Diamond is awesome. This is where a lot of people start to increase their lifestyle quite a bit. They start to be able to have the option to buy a bigger house or a nicer car, or travel a lot more, or do a lot more things for their family. We know, friends of our mentors that give away hundreds of thousands of dollars a year because that's just what they want to do with their income. A lot of the diamonds that we know, it's their goal to give away 90% of their income to friends or family or churches and charities, just to give. That is awesome. And so hopefully you have that bigger dream and goal. If not, great, it's okay. Hopefully you can build it. But these 2 levels are amazing. And there's higher levels in this. We just won't talk about them tonight. But our coaches, Howie and Teresa, hit a level called Double Diamond, which is literally double diamond. They just helped another couple in their organization go diamond themselves to build this sort of an income, right? They've helped our coaches, Jake and Jolene, build Emeralds, right? Jake and Jolene have helped us build this. And so it's like the proof is in the pudding. Hopefully you know that. Hopefully you come out of tonight and you're like, not doubting the credibility of the business. My client never doubted the credibility of Amway, because we just saw, like, why would companies like Target and Microsoft and Apple partner with Amway if it's not legitimate?
Yeah.
And we believed in our mentors because we were like, obviously they had their literally physical proofs that the business works.
Yeah.
The only things that we doubted was ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, could we build this? And so if you walk away from tonight and you're like, man, I just don't know if this is going to work, you're not doubting this, or even Michael and I, you're just doubting yourself, which is hopefully you just get around this organization and you start to believe that you actually can. Because if Michael and I could, then I think anybody can. So that's really all I have for you tonight. We're going to take a quick break, probably 5-ish minutes.
Probably 10.
5 to 10. And then we'll come back and do training. So if you're on the live stream, if it's your first time in here, you can just pop right off. The person who brought you on here will probably give you a call and then talk about the next steps. So have an awesome night.
Boom.
Woo!
Yeah.
I don't know what to do in person anymore. Usually I like pause the live stream. Do I keep standing here?
It was funny the first time Mason and I did it. We're gonna sit on here.
Okay,
Yeah,
how
we'll
about
sit
you
here.
tell me when you see you?
Okay, that's good.
That's good?
Yeah, right there.
Ask them if they can hear.
Up a little.
Up a little?
They don't have to see us, they can see.
That's good.
So I got the, huh?
Yeah, and then I'll have Leslie turn the camera towards whoever's gonna be speaking.
If Sue said yeah.
Oh, Michael, be careful. It will.
Sorry, first point it towards you so you can see it. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Here, wait. Can you unplug it and hand me the cord, please?
I feel the same way.
All right. So it'll be on me for now, and then.
This is my friend.
What is that from?
Shit.
Oh, let's get some shit.
Let's get.
Shit.
Do you like my shit?
Yeah, what is that?
It's from a video.
Like a,
Random.
It's a super old video.
what else?
All right.
Wow.
So, real quick, so we're gonna do a teaching, but it's more interactive.
Yeah,
less-
we didn't plan like a huge teaching because we knew like each person was size, and so.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Leslie, last time you talked about the why, right?
Mhm.
So your why.
Mhm.
It's awesome. Did you have everyone share?
Yeah, so we had everybody share like, well, we more focused on why did you want to even earn this opportunity in the first place? And then we wrote everybody's why on the board.
That's cool. Perfect. So I've been doing that with some of the groups. I stole that from you. But the part that, and I've been doing that with them, but since your team already did that, the part that I was actually adding on top of that is, right, whether you've been around for 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, right? You've gained something, right? Something personal, something tangible, whatever it may be. And so I want you to write down 3 things, 1 to 3 things that you've really gained from mentorship, from Amway, from Worldwide, from the association, like whatever it may be, you really have gained. Write them down, and then I want to share.
And then if you're on live stream,
Text us.
you can text us, either Michael or I or Leslie.
Michael, Leslie.
Making me think, man.
Good.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I want you to think, and I'll explain why.
That's distracting.
I'm just kidding. What's going
I did. My brain was like,
on? I'll focus on the whistling now. Christine,
Do you want us to just stop at 3 so that we can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you have more, then that's your to sit down and really write them down. But to share your top 3 is really what I want, right? Because we can't share for an hour each. Some of us would. Actually, it's funny. Jake last night kind of did something similar to this of our reason, like our why, and yeah, it was awesome. He's had all these guys sharing. It was just guys were crying. I was crying.
Man, you guys cried?
Hey, ladies can cry. Don't
No,
worry about it.
It was real, man.
we
That's
laughed
awesome.
a lot and we were in a food coma.
It sounds like a good time. I mean, we laughed a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Had a bunch of fun. A lot of inappropriate jokes. It was great.
Too many.
And then it got real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's start. Who wants to start? Leslie.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll go
Okay.
this way.
Just be careful because if it unplugs from there,
He's gone.
can you maybe take it off of it?
Oh yeah.
Can you use like, so then you can, then you can just be gentle with holding it. Basically.
I'll be gentle.
Okay.
I'll be gentle.
So the first thing that I saw when I earned mentorship was how our mentors had the relationship with their spouse.
Mm.
And I was losing my relationship with my spouse because I worked so diligently with Jolene and learned how to communicate so much better because as a fire and I was a feisty one and I was butt and she taught me how to zip it and only edify my husband and learn how to communicate better and I got my spouse back. So I was like the number one amazing thing.
I remember that.
Gained real fruitful relationships. That was another thing. All my association was ginormous before I got on this, and then went away. And I was like, Jolene! And she's like, guess what? You get to choose your family. And I was like, okay. So that has been amazing. So I get all these awesome people in my life. And then the relationship with my mentors. And the last one is I've gained stronger and more positive mindset that is, sorry, I was speaking kind of funny. I believe in self, which is super awesome because I didn't have that before. I was just always like self-doubt. So, yeah, talk to the world.
Thank you. It was good. We'll just go this way.
Sounds good.
Elena.
So one, we got out of a lot of debt. We have money and savings, and we learned a lot about just money management and budgeting. So we had no plan for that before. I'm also on a personal growth plan. I'm reading, I'm listening to things. I'm investing in myself, something I also listened to before. And then I learned a lot about the Power Association, and just speaking into my life and how about emotional stability.
Awesome. That's good stuff. All right, Chris.
Yeah. Also, the things I've learned from mentorship is I've learned more about my self-worth, see the good in myself that others see in me that I don't see.
Yeah.
So I gained that. I love that. I've also learned to stop making emotional-based decisions because I used to be a real emotional person. You know, it's just like once I'm going, I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's more. It's like calm down, level-headed. You know, that look from 50,000 feet.
Yeah.
You know, and some good mentors to look up to. You know, I've had a lot of people look up to in my life, like my grandpa, which I look up to. But you know, that's where I used to get a lot of my personal and faith from. But a lot of like as far as money and education, business, you know, I never had any of that in my life. But now I have that in my life, and I have the motivation from you guys.
That's cool.
You know, it's just awesome. It's really turned me around.
Yeah. It's awesome, buddy. All right.
So for me, Amway has helped me definitely with my thought process. I've actually been a lot more positive and just literally twisting a lot of the thoughts that I was like, my self-doubt, I was literally just brushing underneath the carpet and just leaving it alone. Because definitely having just more of the belief of just really going for it. And for me, time management, actually, I had a friend of mine who was like, hey, what do you want to do? I was like, let me look at my schedule. I'm 2 weeks from now. When do you want to hang out? He was like,
Wow.
what do you want? I was like, I don't know.
That's
What do you want to do? And I was like, I'll literally put it in there.
Yeah.
So it's actually really cool to actually time manage it. It's actually been a lot of process and patience. Definitely learned a lot more patience.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dan the man.
I'd say like perspective, not in any order for these, but perspective through the relationships and connections that have been built. which leads to the applicable knowledge, which is the next one, which is basically like communication, emotional intelligence, reading, audios, coaching, and just, becoming a better person. Then that leads into how to serve beyond what I thought was possible.
Okay, so I've learned about maturity. So I kind of started off a little bit more on the young side. Wasn't ever like crazy or anything, but I mean, I just noticed in comparison to people who are my age now, I guess. It's just different, I guess.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be like I've got connections in all the right places. I just like feel happy with like everybody here.
Yeah.
And I know it's a good place to be. So, and then I have hope now for dreams and goals. I've never been like negative. I've always been kind of positive, but I've never really looked at an overall picture. So.
That's awesome.
I have 4 or 3 people that
All 3 people texted you?
Did anybody text you guys?
Yeah, I had some, but I'll let you do it and then we'll go through ours. Put the camera back.
Okay, so Bella, she said confidence, self-belief, a purpose, best friends, family, becoming a people person and not a people pleaser.
It's good.
Amanda Richardson, she said an association worth spending time with and raising my kids around. 2, growing in my parenting and myself. Number 3, I got my self-worth back. Amanda Stevens, the courage to connect with people. 2, connections with actually financially free, successful people. I think she meant the who, maybe. Number 3, a family of new people who think and go after the best in people too. Thanks, guys.
That's awesome. And then we'll go through the people on ours. Come on. I believe in you. That's good. All right. Down just a little bit. Cool. All right, so then I have Kenny Lee, who said mentorship. And we said getting perspective from people with no judgment and people who have fruit on the tree. Number 2, faith. And so Faith background has been stronger, and he's trusting God more and trusting the process of life. And life is happening for me, not to me, which is awesome. And the third one is a more positive look at life. That's awesome. And then Jesse Richardson said that a standard of excellence for what a man should be. It's really good. Parenting has dramatically changed, and I used to react a lot. He has a mad face. So now he responds. And number 3, growing with his wife, increasing their love together and falling in love together every day because they know what they have and their life they're regrowing to live. Hashtag worldwide group in Amway for life. That's awesome.
The tags are hashed.
Jesus said still on mute. Got sound.
Oh, good job, Julie. I think he's.
I know, I'm just messing up.
That
was from earlier. That was from earlier.
I was like,
I just opened
yay.
text messages. That's it.
That's it? Okay, so I had Mary Alice, and she said that number 1, she's gotten hope and belief in her dreams, and that she wasn't crazy for having big dreams. Number 2 is an ambitious association of awesome, worthwhile friends, and then number 3 is emotional stability and perspective.
Andrew Hardy said connection skills to better appreciate his wife Kelly and for other family, and to understand what true success mentality looks like.
I went from Lois.
Nice.
Lois. Lois said better communication skills. better communication skills. Is that better?
Yes.
Positive outlook, time management, amazing association, and chosen family.
Thanks.
Reassuration. So if we get some more, we'll talk about those. But we're going to go first.
Yeah, so
Better on the spot.
he did this to me last time and I didn't have time to think. And I had time to think, but I was too busy fake whispering with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have to think about it. I just have to think of like 3 because there's so many. But first one obviously is being financially independent, having the life that we have today. Like that would have never happened without this association and without this business. So that's a huge dream come true for me and for Michael. Number 2 is my marriage, because there's no way I would have gotten married. So I was like, Miss Independent, I don't need no man. I don't need you. Now I need you. So my marriage, which is an amazing marriage, and the best husband ever. And number 3 is lifelong friends. It's super rare to have people that you know that are always going to be in your corner. They'll always be there. Right? Jake and Jolene, Howie and Teresa, we know that we can call them for anything, and there's never any judgment. There's never any hesitation, and they're always going to give us their very best. They're not just going to be like, oh, sorry, I don't have time for your problems. I don't have time to give you advice on this one aspect. Like my life is more important than yours, sort of thing. And I think we've all had friends like that where we try to call them and they're like, sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you right now. And I know that they will never do that, and they're going to be there for the rest of our lives to build our lives. That people that you can call for the good stuff, like Howie says, like that's super rare that you can call someone and say, hey, my life is going amazing. Because if we tried to tell other people in our life that, they would be like, oh, good for you.
Yeah.
They're not happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. It's good. I'm not sure. I'm kidding, but before that, Kelly Hardy. She said more emotional stability and increased capacity, especially related to their marriage and parenting and close relationships. A better wardrobe. Like Leslie, a stronger mindset that has led to more self-confidence and standing up for herself and her family and setting boundaries.
Yeah, I was about to say boundaries. I learned how to have boundaries.
Healthy boundaries, yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
come everybody.
Yeah.
No boundaries. I'm like,
yeah. In a healthy way. Yeah. It's a hedge.
yeah. With a little path.
Yes.
Loves you so much.
So what have I gotten? I've gotten my relationship with you, right? Our faith has been huge. Without mentorship and having people who walked a good walk, not just talked a good talk, that brought us both back. So that's awesome. Like I said, our relationship, and like I think it was Jesse, you said a good example of being a good man. I never had that, so that has been priceless. I needed it. I think a lot of mentoring. And then obviously the financial things of having time in life, right? Where Jake was talking about it last night. He said, I don't get how people can go back to like mediocrity, like being around this. And then he said something about like, if you wanted to, you could. And I said no, and he thought I meant no, like I did want to go. And he's like, all right then, Michael. I said no. Yeah, I'll take your business. And I said no, I would never go back to that. There's no way. Like, try to take my freedom, man. Fight for it. Now that we have, you just have your first.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, what's she doing now? Oh, that's smart.
Yep. So that's really what I've done. And there's a lot of them, but top 3.
Like, I probably could have chosen a different life.
It took everyone else off, too.
Just awareness. Something to grow.
Self-awareness.
I haven't gotten that yet. Bro. Association still growing.
But yeah, there's so much, but that's really it. And so the reason why I wanted to share that, I know Leslie shared with you guys, and you all shared too, of like, why did you get around to begin with? And just to tell you ours was first and foremost was, for me, it was getting out of debt. I saw, well, I could do this. Like, I can get out of debt. That's awesome. But then more than that, as I got around it, was more of like, oh wow, my dreams can come true.
Yeah.
Like not just for me and mine, but to help. Right? And then it grew even bigger to the point where I shared last night. It's, we do a good work. And there's so much work to be done. And I think the best way to really truly create change in this world, which the world desperately needs that, is to affect people in such a positive way, foundationally. It's the only way.
Yeah.
And it's in people's households and homes. And people don't have that opportunity to really, truly help in that way. And we have that ability. So, gotta share it.
Yeah.
So, that's what I shared last night. You want to talk about what you got around to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, you all know I was a huge dreamer, and I always had people in my life that said it was so unrealistic and they were never going to come true, and I just never believed that. So when I got around this business and there was people that were actually like, yeah, you can achieve them. Like, whatever you want, if you just work hard enough, you have the right vehicle, you have the right people to show you how to do it, then absolutely it's possible. And I was just like, I'm in. That's all I needed to hear. I really didn't care what they were doing. It was just like, they just told me it's possible to go travel the world. I don't care what they're doing.
Yep. So if you're online and you didn't share your reasons, why, you can send them up and I'll send it to the group. Love to share it. And the Kate. The reason why I wanted to do that is to really help you go back. I mean, she did it the why, right? To understand why, because sometimes we kind of forget why. Like we're in the muck and mire of life and the grind and no shows and, you know, people looking at you weird and, you know, you're just going through it, right? It's easy to forget that. It's not always right there in front of you. So it's really crucial to have that why. That's what Leslie did, and that's why I stole it and did it with all the other groups. But the reason why I took it a little bit further, going to, what have you gotten so far? Because it's easy to go, well, I've been around for 6 months and I'm not where I want to be. It's easy to go, I've been around for a couple of years and I'm not, you know, I'm not debt free yet, or I'm not a platinum yet, or I'm not double eagle, or whatever it may be. It's like, if we could just focus on that growth piece and really like understand that you are the asset. I mean, yes, of course we want success and we want to hit those goals, which we all can if we put in the work. But at the end of the day, you got to realize how much have you gotten from it so far? And then really create that excitement of, wow, how much growth am I going to have to come? Look at what I have now and look at all the stuff that I can have as I grow and become better in myself and my marriage and my family. Like, I think Noel and Olenek talked about that in the audio this last time. Like being around this helps you so much in so many ways other than that piece. And if you truly want that, then you just got to put in the work, and it's never too late to do that. But I feel like some people lose that gratitude for everything that they had gained. And when they kind of don't see that, they kind of fall away. And I mean, we were talking about the other day, it's like, how can you see what you've seen, understand what's possible, gain all the stuff that you've gained with association, love, care, personal development, time management, all the stuff that you've gained and all that, and go, I'm gonna go back to my mediocre life. I mean, people do it all the time. We have it, but I for me and us, it's just so unfathomable. Yeah. It's like, yeah, how, like, how? And we're like, yeah, and we're like all you gotta do is buy your own stuff that you're already gonna buy in life, and not build anything here. You can go build your own business on the side if you want, become massively successful in that, and have access to multimillionaires like Howard, and he'll mentor you. And if you come to him like, hey, I'm starting a construction company, like I'm Matt Alderman, and that's struggling and coming to advice to Howard, he's like, oh yeah, this is what I would do here. This is what and giving perspective and stuff. Even though he can't help him with building construction, he can help him build the mindset behind it. The mindset and success is in anything, and Matt Alderman will say he attributes the success there because of what he's learned here. And it's like, you could do that and never build a business here. You could still even have zero PV and he'd still coach you. There's some of you, I mean, not you guys, but I know there are people who have 0 PV and still sending Kates, and we still coach you. And I'm like, why would you leave that access? And I'm like, I just don't get it. And I feel like it's sometimes loss of gratitude. And so I wanted you to write those stuff down. So then when you're down and out, you go back to that. Have it written down. But we were just talking about it, just like, man, it makes no sense. But at the same time, that's probably why they went back, because they just weren't thinking. They probably unfortunately had no sense at that point. It was all emotional. And life is easier then. It's like, well, yeah, you're going nowhere. It's a little more challenging because you're actually trying to do something. And it's easy to be mediocre, and that's fine too, but it's like, yeah, I don't get it. How we would want to be around that positivity and that association to begin with, whether you build anything for it or not. Like
Because
that.
they don't want to change.
That's true. Yeah, that's good. That's true. We don't want to change. Yeah, change hurts.
Yeah.
It's challenging. So yeah, I guess so.
Jolene and I were, we went to Howie and Teresa's, and then we were driving on the way back. Michelle, Jolene, and I were talking about just different people that like were in the business and that were not, and running into them later. And Michelle told this story with this guy that used to be in their business, this couple, and from the outside they ran into them, and from the outside it looked like they were doing well, actually, like they had actually built something, later on, like he had built some kind of insurance business or something like that, and he was doing really well financially from the outside. But then they ran into them again a few months later, and he was like, man, things are just not going good at home. Like my wife cheated on me. She's like doing drugs now. She's drinks all the time. Like my marriage is falling apart. And she's like, man, like if you had just stayed in, if you just, like, how could that be different for you?
Mm-hmm.
And there was another guy that was in Jake and Jolene's business.
Real quick to talk about that, because we talked about the same thing.
Yeah.
They actually talked to her down the road, and she said that when they were on Worldwide, he was focused on the family and was focused on providing, like not just financially, but in another way. But then when he got around it, she's like, all he cared about was becoming successful around money, and we became a side thing. And so I went and found another man that was actually going to be there for me. And that's that. So success is everyone's different definition, but that's not success in any way. That's failure, massively. Why would you get rid of that? So I just wanted to add on that, because Logan said that same story, but talked about that other piece, and I'm like, sucks.
Takes two.
Plug it in to mentorship.
Yep.
And then there's another one, and obviously, I mean, there's people who leave this and sometimes they do well, and sometimes they just go back to their lives before. And it's so crazy how people sometimes are so desperate to have a different life than what they have, and that's why they get around this.
Yeah.
And then they lose gratitude for what they have gained through being around this because it was taking too long, or because they saw their upline hanging out with another downline more than they hung out with them, or whatever. They start getting nitpicky, and they're like, well, this person answered my Kate 3 hours too late. Like they do that, but people do that all the time, and so they lose gratitude, and then they go back right back to the life that they were so desperate to not be in, because they lose gratitude. And so that you just keep that in front of you. Like when you have a hard day, when you don't want to come to a board plan because you're all cozy in your bed, like that happens. We have that still. Like being free, oh my God, you have to have a massive why. Because like that's why sometimes people get free and then they just don't move on. So you have to build that, but you just have to have the gratitude for like what this has done for you. And that's why it's so important to share it with people, because like if it's done that for you, there's probably someone out there who needs that too.
And that can happen at any level. It's happened at Eagle. We'll hit that first level of accomplishment, and they're like, oh, yeah, doing it. And then they get complacent at it. And on top of that, Logan and I were talking about it because it happened to him and us at Platinum. We thought something would shift, right? We hit Platinum. We thought our poop didn't stink. Like, we've done it, guys. Like, you're going to go out there and talk to people, and they're just going to know. Here's the thing, it's like, you think it's funny, but it's like, it's not like we like said that,
Oh my gosh.
but it's what we felt
When
and
we
thought.
got free though, we were like,
Oh, dude.
oh man. Everyone we
happened
talk
again,
to,
free.
we're just gonna tell them we don't have a job, and they're gonna be like, everyone's gonna be like, I have to sit down with you. And then, like the day after we got free, we talked to a couple, and no one was home.
No.
And we were like, we just told you we didn't have a job.
We're financially.
Did you hear me?
23, 29.
Should I say it again?
But
Do I tell you how old I
our
was?
expectation, our expectation was unrealistic, because you're
Yeah.
still gonna have to go through the same numbers, and there's no magical pin, there's no magical leadership level that it's just gonna become easy. If Eagle or launching one person, all of a sudden it's like, I launch one person now, it's just gonna be cake from, no. And so Logan, I'm talking about that, I'm like, I wish we would have learned it at Platinum, that that's not how it works, but when we got free, we thought the same thing, or felt the same way, thought it, didn't speak it, and then we got disappointed. We were like, oh, this doesn't work. But even though we had the results for free, we're just like it's like, what the heck?
We never thought that.
Oh no, but that happens to some people. They maybe hit Eagle and they go, oh, it's just gonna happen, I'm gonna go double, now that I've done it once. And it happened to me, and I thought it was just gonna happen like that, and then I fell on my face because it didn't. And it's happened multiple times throughout this business. And so it could happen that you hit 300 PV. I hit 300 PV, I got my foundation, I could duplicate it. No, I mean, now it's time to work. So at the end of the day, it's at any level it could happen. And just understanding, like, if you really want the results, like your passion is for your who, or for your why, or for your how, then you gotta self-motivate, create that discipline, and then just live that life. Change your life so you can change your life. So I guess that's the teaching out of the teaching. The teaching that we didn't work to do, but did.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Focus on gratitude.
Yep. And then just start creating the discipline on a daily basis. Build it back up. Just small things. That's why CORE's there. Invest in you, grow you, build that discipline, and then start progressing. Simple. Not necessarily easy.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, Jamie Borjas, they're on there because they have a guest tonight. Chris's friend, one of his like grade school friends that grew up with him. They did everything together. He was around his business for like 2-3 months and then fell away, and now he's in prison because he went back to old association, bad people, and you are who you hang out with.
So just happened to my friend, I took him through the process and everything, and he was getting ready to launch, got in a car accident, went back down the old path and then killed himself. Just like 2 weeks ago. And I even took him through the process too and everything, met Jake, and Jake was like, Jake just had buddy too, yeah, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. It's crazy. Gratitude. Make good decisions. Your decisions, I mean, we choose, right? And then live with that choice. So for us, I mean, we chose this. We choose you. Right? So make those choices every day. It's awesome. Well, proud of you guys. It was awesome getting together. I know everyone online next time, right? We're going to alternate it with different teams and stuff. So that way everyone can kind of get around, which is awesome. And hopefully soon it'll start opening up back more and more. Because I think Jolene would say something about 25 potentially. She doesn't know if that's a real thing or not. So
Yeah, we don't know for sure, so we're just keeping it under 10.
keep it on 10 for now until we hear officially that it's 25. Because if that happens, that'd be legit. Because then we can get most of us back. And then, yeah, just starting to progress forward and get somewhat back to a new normal, which would be awesome. But yeah, love you guys on the live stream. Oh, fechas. Las fechas.
So we have, of course, Diamond Day this
Diamond Day.
Saturday.
It's Saturday
for the
and Sunday.
ladies, 1 to 5. And if you qualified, you should have gotten my Kate with the link for the ladies. I don't think the guys' link has come out yet, but it should.
Ooh, I have it.
Oh, you do?
Piece of candy.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so I just catered it individually to those of you who qualified, so that way I don't want to send it out to the whole group for obvious reasons. People who didn't qualify, they'll just hop on. So you should have gotten a link, and then 12, obviously, 1 to 5 for the guys, I mean.
I got a first, actually.
Yeah, it looks great on you. All right, and then 15th is Wood Organizational, 8 p.m. That'll be live streamed for Jake and Jolene. And I've got the 20th is Howie's live stream at 7. Spanish board plan on the 21st.
Oh yeah, there's one.
Oh,
on
sorry,
the
there's one on the
11th, too.
11th also at 8 p.m. And then Spanish board plan on the 21st at 8 p.m. 22nd is the next one for this group. And that's Jake and Jolene on that one. And then
Oh, yeah.
27th, Furthers Organization team meeting at 7. That'll be a Zoom one, I think, again.
Yeah.
And then the last thing for July is the 30th.
Yes.
Howie's doing that. Is it a board plan or a teaching?
I mean, it sounded like a board plan.
Yeah. So I would just probably clear your calendar from like 7 p.m. on, just in case.
Yeah.
Because last time they said it was a board plan and then turned into a teaching.
So start earlier.
If it's a teaching, it'll be at 7. If it's a board plan, it'll be at 8. So just be prepared for either.
And then Jesus and his board plan is on the 29th.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Ooh, the 29th for the Gandaria team?
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Sweet.
That's awesome. Plug into that. Boom. Plug it in, plug it in. Fresh in 60 days, fresh in anyway.
I'm telling you, man, you and Leslie, you guys just turn everything into a song.
I know. Like the whole time. It's so funny. It's so funny. We're so similar. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
She's my queen. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.